Well, hello, and welcome to Stop. Let's Team Up Those Daring Defenders, number 12. And we will be covering Defenders, issue number 4. The New Defenders is the title in the inside blurb, but it says... Oops, lost my place. Sorry. Valkyrie rides again on the cover. But let's get a little details from the wiki page. The basic little things. First, it is Defenders Volume 1, Number 4. It was released on November 21st, 1972. A cover date of February 1973. The cover art is by Jim Starlin, John Buscema, Frank Giacoca, and Mori Kuramoto. The name of the story is The New Defender. Writer, Steve Englehart, woohoo! Penciler, Sal Buscema, woohoo! Inker, Frank McLaughlin. Colorist, Petra Goldberg. Letter, Artie Seamack. Editor, Roy Thomas, woohoo! The roll call, Submariner, Hulk, Doctor Strange, Valkyrie, first appearance, joins the team. Supporting cast is Barbara Norris and the Black Knight, Dane Whitman, one of my favorite Avengers from the 90s, but this is the 70s, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. The antagonists are Executioner, the Enchantress, and Casolina, the Queen. The nameless ones are mentioned, Otis, Zaragon, some stuff that's going on, Avengers 100. Let's get the little short synopsis from the fandom page. Believing that Dr. Strange is responsible for harming Barbara Norris, the Hulk bounds over to a nearby castle to get away from him. Following with Namor, Strange and the others are transported to a mystical realm. Strange and Namor are then overpowered by the Executioner and an army at his command. Locked in the same cell with Bruce Banner, who is changed back into his human form, and Barbara, they also notice that the other cell are the Enchantress and the Black Knight. Enchantress explains that after her last battle with the Avengers, she and the Executioner traveled to this realm, and the Executioner soon became the consort of Queen Cassiolina, much to Enchantress's chagrin. Wanting to revenge, she charmed the Black Knight into helping her, but they were both defeated and locked up. Using her magical powers, Enchantress turns Barbara into the Valkyrie, and with the help of the Defenders, manages to free themselves. In the heat of battle, the Enchantress kills Cassiolina and reclaims the Executioner as her own. However, when the Black Knight revolts, believing the Enchantress loves him, she informs him he was only a pawn in her game, and turns him into stone before leaving with the Executioner. The Defenders then travel back with the Stone Black Knight, where Valkyrie adopts Aragorn and decides to join the Defenders, whether they like it or not. So that is Defenders number 4. I read this after I read other issues, so I wasn't reading it in order. I think I even read the entire, probably at this point I'd read the entire Avengers Defenders War, which is coming up very quickly in a couple issues. Before I read these, but I did reread them again recently during the beginning of the pandemic, and I really love what Englehart and Buscema are doing with this book. I just really am. It's a lot of fun. It is what it's supposed to be. It's an action. It's adventure. I think it's got good characterizations for the main characters. A lot happens and things move quickly, which I think is good for a comic book. You have a good pace. Interspersed with action, the battle scenes are wonderful. The Merlin kind of character pops up. I think that ties into post when they go back in time with Black Knight after the Avengers Defenders War. It is great to see Dane Whitman. He had not been an Avenger much when I first started reading Avengers. And he would come in the 90s in the Stern era and just be a linchpin of the team for probably a decade, up until the Epting years. There's some rough comics in there. I have to admit, it's where I was in and out of Avengers because I just thought it was inconsistent, but there were some gems in there. And he was a member for a long time. Him and Hercules become regulars after being just kind of in and out real quick when Roy was writing the book. So it was good to see him. I remember I've definitely read this after I had gotten a copy of Avengers 100, which I hunted for about 2 years, trying to find it once I had a bunch of Avengers around there. I was going back and trying to complete the run, and I it was like, for me, it was like the holy grail of Avenger comics back then. I mean, we were probably in the 150s, 130s, maybe probably around 150. And it's Barry Windsor Smith, it's Roy, it's every Avenger, it's glorious. I can't wait to get to that someday and cover it, because it is an important team comic for me. But there's a lot going on here. So let me just kind of go through it, because I want to talk more about it. I like how they've just happened to land by the Whitman Castle, which is, of course, comic book, stuff happens. I think the pencils are great. I think Frank McLaughlin, who I know more for inking Dick Dillon, I think that's, does a really good job. I kind of like the faces, and some of the brush work, the ink work is pretty good, and I think it complements Sal. The battle scenes, as I said, pages, they're not numbered, but there's a couple battle scenes. I think Sal draws a great Black Knight, because I liked it in the issue 70s, and I think it's 83 when he joined Sal, and Sal is penciling it. And I think it's Sam Granger's inking it, so it's good. It's beautiful. But there's a lot going on, and it's got some great Marvel flashbacks telling you, like Avengers 83, Avengers 100, other things that's going on. I like a lot of continuity. I don't care. Go for it. To see the flashback of how her and Black Knight, not only does he tell you, you get to see it, it's show and tell, which I think helps build character. These are, fictional characters, and they are superheroes, something that does not really happen, and you want to have some personality. And sometime Steve Strange is a pompous jerk. I don't think I love Hub and Corey's Tighten Up the Defense, Please Listen to It. It is much more entertaining in a lot of ways than mine, but it's a different kind of podcast. But I think Hub really gets Stephen Strange. I like the introduction to the Valkyrie. She is a favorite character of mine in a lot of ways. I was a regular Defender reader, honestly, from about the time Nighthawk joins till New Defenders. I think that's kind of where they lost me. And there's certain characters that I really are important to me because they were in Defenders. Valkyrie, I do like Nighthawk. Kyle's a bit of a jerk, but it's the guy that's like, I'm such a dense kind of average white guy thing, and I kind of, I see me in that kind of klutzy idiocy. But I like Val. For me, the Defenders are Hulk, Nighthawk, Val, and Hellcat. But we got a lot to go before Hellcat gets here, and there's a lot of great stuff. But this is a great comic. Valkyrie it's a nice introduction. She's actually the one that kind of saves the day, but she also kind of it's because she's trying to overpower the villain, that the Enchantress can kill the villain and reclaim the Enchantress, and then turn the Black Knight to a statue. And the Black Knight is in a statue form for a long time. I can't remember what issue he comes back to life as, but he gets crushed in like 150s punching Wonder Man in the Vision. But it's great. I like it. They get there. They get back to his castle. They put a little spell on it. He's in there. Valkyrie goes, I want to join the Defenders. And then, this is Submariner. 1 minute now. The Defenders have no members. We have only fought together for common cause. This is not the Avengers. And then Stephen, furthermore, with all due modesty, we are 3 of the most powerful people in the world. What could we possibly need you for? You're a putt, Stephen. And the last panel is great. We've been going back to the Omegatron every issue as it counts down. It is now down to 89/100th of a second before the world's end, which will lead into issue 5, which is another story with Yandroth, and getting us closer and closer to the Avengers Defenders War. I think this is a great comic. It's got a lot of action. It's got a lot of characters. I'm going to do what I'm going to say. If I had been there at the time and been editing and making suggestions, I would have kept the Black Knight. I would have kept Black Knight and Valkyrie with the swords. You could use them as a duo, and it could have been Submariner, it could have been Doctor Strange, Hulk, Black Knight, Valkyrie, and eventually Nighthawk, and then really add the second Red Guardian, who I think is amazing, and when she gets in the book, I'm just going to be so happy. But that's a fun comic, and that was and I'm glad it was nice to read it. I had a rough week, a little emotional ups and downs. It's kind of been Harry Carey, kind of crazy. So that's why stuff's been late. I'm going to drop this on Friday, but tomorrow, guys, early, I'm going to drop an interview with a comic creator whose work I have always really liked, and we're going to talk a little bit about 3 comics that meant a great deal to me as a collector and still do. And it was nice to get to talk to the guy that wrote it and just hear just have him answer some of my silly little questions. And I think it's an interesting little podcast. So that'll be up 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to say who it is. Just tune in and see. But folks, next Tuesday we'll be covering the return of Lightning Lad, which is a big issue. I'm gonna do a little more homework on that one, and I may talk a little longer. And a week from now will be, or 6 days from now, next Thursday will be the Defenders, number 5 with Yandrith back. I'm looking forward to it in the Omegatron. And next weekend, I'm not sure what it'd be. I think I have a guest lined up. It'll be something fun. But I've also talked to 2 of my theater friends here in Richmond, guys I've done shows with, and guys who are comic nerds and whose taste I am always fascinated to talk to them about, are going to come on and talk about some stuff. I got a Marvel Super Team that I love dearly, but he followed it from the beginning, and it's one that I had to learn. I had to go back and discover it. And then another friend, I don't think we've decided what we're going to talk with him about. But folks, until then, be safe, be smart, be kind, and read some comics.